السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وأصحابه ومن والاه. You have an announcement, brother? Inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in what some of what we recited, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. Says Allah Azza wa Jal, your Lord says, invites you and says, Ud'uni, ask of me, solicit from me, pray to me. The prayer, literal sense of the word prayer, that is dua. Ud'uni, I shall answer you, I shall give you, I shall respond to you positively. Astajib lakum. And those who don't do that, they do that because they are arrogant. إن الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي أي عن دعائي سيدخلون جهنم داخرين, and therefore they will enter hell in humiliation. The point number one, my dear brothers and sisters, is those of us who are not in dua as regularly as we should be, as frequently as we should be, as human beings in general, and as Muslims in particular, and as Muslims or human beings under challenging circumstances. And we do not turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in dua. Listen to my words carefully from this ayah and other texts. That's an indicator that persons like that have arrogance inside themselves. They have kibr inside of themselves. Number one. Number two, towards the end of what we recited, he says subhanahu wa ta'ala, هو الحي لا إله إلا هو فادعوه مخلصين له الدين. فادعوه مخلصا له الدين. هو الحي. He is the all-living subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no deity but He subhanahu wa ta'ala, and therefore invoke Him, ask of Him. ادعوه with ikhlas of your faith to Him, with purity of intention and with sincerity to Him Azza wa Jal. That means those of us who in our dua, in our supplications, we're not sincere, and sometimes that sincerity is expressed through carelessness in our dua. That is, we are in dua but only mechanically. Our hearts, our minds, our internal energies are not there. Our hearts are distracted. That's not ikhlas fi dua, is it? Or is it? It's not. That's not ikhlas in dua. That's not sincerity and purity of intent in our dua. Because He also said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as a sort of perhaps of an elucidation to such texts, ادعوا الله وأنتم موقنون بالإجابة واعلموا أن الله لا يستجيب دعاء قلب غافل. He says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sort of an elucidation to these texts when he says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ask of Allah. It's a command. ادعوا الله. Number one. Number two, with the condition, while you are sure that He hears and answers. That means don't test Him. Don't be doubtful. Don't play around with that. Don't be philosophical or dialectician about, what does this mean? Does it work? How? Etc. Do that. And thirdly, and you must know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not answer positively the supplications of a supplicant whose heart is absent, is distracted. That's another one. Fourthly, as I remind myself first and then you, a text that many of you know, for the dua which we are asked and required to practice, for that to be also granted, one condition all of you know, I suppose. What is it? Yes, we said these things. One of those conditions is that we do not do things that violate Allah's norms and standards and injunctions. Through the example he gave of the person who is in need truly, ash'ath aghbar, raising his hands in dua, but at the same time needing Allah at the same time. Who remembers? His food is haram. His drink is haram. His clothing is haram. He's fed in haram. In other words, these are examples of a person who doesn't care about the injunctions of Allah Azza wa Jal. These are examples. It could be also in his job or her job, in his house, in the way they rule, they administer. They don't care about whether Allah is pleased or not. But when they turn to Allah in dua, they turn in need, truly in need, but with this condition. And therefore, that leads me to the last point about these reflections, my dear brothers and sisters. There is a text. I myself came across this text not long ago. And I pondered it many times before I want to share it with you. And each one, inshallah, will take it hopefully very seriously. Isa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, فيما رواه ابن أبي شيبة في المصنف والبيهقي and others rahimahullah ta'ala. And this hadith I checked also. It's sanid and so on, and it is at least hasan. So he said in that text, يَأْتِيَنَّ عَلَى النَّاسِ زَمَانٌ لَا يَنْجُو فِيهِ إِلَّا الَّذِي يَدْعُو بِدُعَاءٍ كَدُعَاءِ الْغَرِيقِ. End of quote. يا لطيف لا يصير. لَيَأْتِيَنَّ عَلَى النَّاسِ زَمَانٌ. لام, what do we call the lam here? لا يأتين, لام القسم, قسم مضمر, كأنه يقول والله 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 لا يأتين. And that قسم is even emphasized by نون التوكيد المشددة. Very, very serious oath. لا يأتين على الناس زمان. A time surely by Allah. Surely a time will come upon mankind, upon people. لا ينجو فيه. No one will be safe. No one will be secure. No one will be rescued. Except the one who implores Allah in dua. But which dua? Not only dua, but the dua of someone who is going to drown. Otherwise, no safety. Please ponder this text and what you think it's telling us. And perhaps tomorrow or some other day, we can share a few more thoughts about what it is telling us. Some of it is obvious. I see the eyes. I feel that perhaps you won't express it, but you feel something very serious and very important. لَيَأْتِيَنَّ عَلَى النَّاسِ زَمَانٌ لَا يَنْجُو فِيهِ إِلَّا الَّذِي يَدْعُو بِدُعَاءٍ كَدُعَاءِ الْغَرِيقِ. No one will be saved except the one who pleads to Allah, who prays to Allah, but not just with those conditions we mentioned earlier, but probably in addition to all of that he would do that and is in a situation and in a mindset and so on, just like the one who is drowning. Only if the dua is like a person who is drowning, sure to drown, and Ya Allah, help me in that condition. In other words, all avenues are closed. That's a moment of certain death. No rescuer around. No possibility. And then you ask Allah with that hal. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guard us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instruct us in our hearts and minds to take this sabab to Allah Azza wa Jalla, dua, this essential sabab, means and connectedness to Allah, that is dua, a means also, not only other means. This is a most essential means. And a lesson we can draw from this other text, I hope as you ponder it, and we maybe say something about it next time, either some of you will mention it to me, or I will share it with you as well. وَجَزَاكُمُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى خَيْرًا. Forgive me for indulging. Assalamu alaikum.